What's up, you guys? Happy Libra, Sun, Leo Moon. Let's pull a few cards just to see what things is hitting for today. I ain't been on it. I feel like I ain't been on in a minute. It probably ain't really been that long because, you know, you don't know, but we finna find out. Oh, I'm pulling out the wrong deck, Lord. Well, let's pull out the astrology deck, though. Let's do that first. Why the shadow deck jumping up at me? Dang, I wish I had pulled up the chart. Hold on. I want to see something real quick. Okay. We're back. I wanted to see where Lilith was at for some reason because of the way that deck popped out, my little shadow deck. And Lilith is in Libra right now. So that's like relationships, having to see the full scope of them individually, collectively with one another, and understanding like what you're doing in these relationships, where the weight falls at, where the blood's at, on whose hands and where it's at, because it's blood on both sides, especially in these close soul tie relationships. I don't even want to go that deep into those things though. Why did that have to come up? I have no Libra I have Libra. Everyone has all of these energies in their chart, but I don't have any planets in my space where Libra is at in my 7th house. So it gives me like an unbiased perspective of relationships and how people. Never mind. Let me not talk about that right now. Oh, why I want to come out like that? 2 of them flipped out. The 9th house and conjunction energy, but why they jumped out like that? We know the 9th house is learning and it's conjuncting something. Let's see. So it's conjuncting that what I just got through talking about. Those things that has been under the dark, has been things that you weren't able to necessarily see just by glance, but things that you are ways could sense energetically under the surface. At some point, things densify and become, something tangible or something that you can hear. Actually, a situation or scenario, and whatever and however these things are transforming into the 3D things where it can be seen at. Moon is also in Libra. What are we talking about? Just pay attention and listen. You're gonna have to actually listen to me, because if not, if you're just scrolling, take a moment and listen to see what I'm talking about. Now, back to what I was saying. The 9th house being the house of where you're learning, and that energy of Lilith coming out first, and that being where the sun is at in Libra. These things within your relationships, even when you're relating to yourself, but especially since we're in Libra season, the people that you're relating to, and maybe even how you're relating to the objects that you use, your phone, and the effect that it's having on you. These things are being exposed and being seen. The things up under the surface, whether they be played out with different people or brand new people. Ooh, soft no. You know what I'm talking about? This is reality. What I'm talking about. I'm not talking about tarot. I'm talking about actual reality, the synchronicities. And if you can pay attention and listen for a moment, you'll get it. Don't miss out on the good thing. Downright. That's what I'm talking about. South node. We know the Libra is in the south node at the moment. The south node being things that we've already experienced. We're supposed to transform and transmute the south node energy in something that's more relatable to this destiny, the destiny that we're already in currently, which would be its opposite energy. Opposite of Libra is what? I'm tripping. Aries, yeah, the individual. We've been talking about the individual for a minute. So it's not for you to just look at your previous or current relationships and disperse of them completely. Sometimes it is, but sometimes maybe you just need to transform the way you see it so that you can understand where it's supposed to sit at in your heart and know how to react and respond accordingly, and maybe even converse and conversate and speak these things out to these relationship partners if it's needed, and you know whether or not they're needed. Speak them out, because this is a good time for your words to connect to the heart space. And if it doesn't connect, if it don't hit, that'll let you know everything that you need to know. South node and Libra, let it go. because that's what we're learning. Because at the end of the day, the North Node is in Aries. Aries is the individual. We're learning deeper things about what's supposed to be learned at the moment, which is the individual. And based off of reflection, you have to see the opposite in to correspond to two, and to have a full better scope. Put one and one thing together, it makes two, which makes a whole nother product. 3. 1 + 1 = 3. See, if you just sit back and listen, you know, life speaks to you. And it could be that you came across the channel just by chance and clicked on it at the right moment to hear what you needed to hear about what you could be going through right now at this very moment. I'm a person of signs, synchronicities, and, you know, the cycle. I peep it. Capricorn, the goat, the boss, the things that you're supposed to be standing on. Capricorn energy is like, you know, the sigil or the symbol they use for it is the devil, but it's really just it's an earth quality, and it's a cardinal energy, so it likes to initiate and create whatever the situation is and be the boss of it. It might boss you around. But what's this talking about? Oh, I wasn't even supposed to pull no more. That was all the cards I was supposed to pull, but we'll keep that one for a side note for the moment. The goat, do you know what the goat means? Or, you know, what, when you think of the goat, what do you think of? Think about a goat's nature. The acronym for a goat that we can use is the greatest of all time. Coincidence? Coincidence not. And let's keep it moving. Andrew, you're supposed to be looking at you at the moment. Not what you're supposed to. This is what this is about. This isn't about astrology. This isn't about numbers. This isn't about anything but you. So you can use whatever tools you need to get the message across, whether it be astrology, colors, numbers. It could be a smell. But if you're not intelligent enough to understand that some people can communicate in a more higher perspective than what you may be able to understand. And it may not be, you may be self-reflecting, but, you know, at some point it wouldn't even matter because you wouldn't even understand anyway. It's for you to understand, but that's what I'm attempting to help people walk out, talk it through, understand in different ways, not just what you thought. Okay? Let's talk about numbers and colors, speaking of. Let's do that. Because, see, it's not about none of these tools. These are tools. These are not doctrines that you're supposed to be religiously loyal to within your heart. It doesn't matter that it's astrology, because that's a word, too, that was made up. So let me see. Is this deck upside down? It don't matter. Okay. What is the intention? We want to know some more information based off of the energies that already came out. For anyone who's watching, anyone who could be watching later, for me, for the message, just for the impact. And we peeping game on whatever we're PREYing at the moment. We're praying. My favorite tree. And the wind is blowing so lovely. Excuse me. 2. This is an ugly 2. We're going to read up on it in a minute, because we're going to read about the book, because y'all like books, things like that. So, and it's nothing wrong. Books are good for reference points, synchronicities, learning more of another person's perspective, but not necessarily taking it and thinking that that's what it's just all end all be all. No, you have your own interpretation of whatever somebody said. Anyway, 8. All of this ugly 8 energy. 8, we're in a number 8 year at the moment. This is not a salute. Okay, so first of all, if y'all don't know, because I don't know who's watching, in this deck we have each number 0 through 9, and each number has 3 perspectives. One perspective is the solution perspective, the other is the inhibited perspective, and the other is the exaggerated perspective. So we don't, this is how I'm reading this deck. So these cards that came out are not the solution card, but I'm not sure as to which one that they are. This looks like it could be exaggerated, but we'll see. So that's why I was like, ew, but we don't have to look at these things like they're good or bad yet. because the point, like I said, is to understand. That's the point. It's not about being biased and trying to figure out which side you should choose. No, it's about listening and comprehending, and then deciding whether or not how you want to look at what you're looking at. And if you can't look at it from that perspective, like, you're kind of wasting your time, but wasted that. I'm not wasting mine. Okay, we got the number 5, another card that is not in the solution space. But let's start from the top. Let's look at the 2. First, we know that the 2 is what? Relationships. Again, Libra energy, but not necessarily Libra energy, but just the archetype of relationships correlates to 2 and Libra energy is what I'm saying. And that's a feminine energy, number 2 is. And let me see. Number 2 is a feminine energy. And this is the inhibited space. So the 2 in this world, the 2 stands in this world full of doubts and insecure in its decisions. It doesn't know which way to go or how to act. So these are 2 opposing decisions, not knowing how to choose whatever you're supposed to be choosing. Or these could be like relationships, because that's what we were talking about. Relationships and not knowing within the relationship dynamic itself, those things not syncing up. And now it's time to realize that, and don't be, too shy and self-sacrificing of yourself to not realize that it's not fucking working. And it ain't got to be with a person again. It could be with whatever you're attempting to, whatever way that you're doing, whatever you're doing. Because sometimes things may not be that it's not for you. It could just be that it's not right timing, or you're not in the right space. But that's when it comes to things outside of other people. I'm talking about like situations or endeavors or things. But number 8 being the cycle, the infinite. We're in a number 8 year at the moment. Let me see what the deck says about it. I mean the book. Let's see what the book say. Okay, so this is the exaggerated. So we got an inhibited energy, which is feminine. And this is also a feminine energy too. 8. So we got an inhibited feminine energy, and then we have an exaggerated feminine energy. Something is trying to compensate for something, and it's by default overcompensating because something in the yang energy or the masculine or even the equilibrium space is not being used. So by default, the cycle will be over exaggerated in the cycle itself. So the actual flow, and that will throw you out of alignment. Hold on. So let me put that into actual words though. The number 8 in the exaggerated looks out of balance, sometimes full of power and sometimes completely powerless, as can be seen from the unequal circles and the small scales. So the 2, okay, by default, when you're relating to something else and it's not on your frequency and it's not something that is supposed to be, that can even, because you're on a certain cycle yourself. And if you're collaborating with an energy that is not on a similar cycle or flow, or at least going in the same direction, these 2 energies are going into opposite directions, then of course it's really going to stop the flow, period. But in the midst of it being stopped, right before, how if you're playing with water and you want to, it's in a swirl and you want to stop the swirl, you go the opposite way. So when you I got distracted. So shit, what did I fuck off and say? So anyway, hold on, let me see, where was I at? Yeah, so it stops the cycle in its tracks. And we can use all things for our benefit. Sometimes it's good to stop in your tracks. In order to stop to see what's going on, you do have to slow down anyway. So take these things as lessons and perspective shifts in your mind. Put it in your mind that way, so that way you won't have a lot of accumulation more of thoughts and feelings that it's not going to be beneficial to the flow that you now have to recreate. Because however your thoughts and feelings are set up and whatever you're thinking about, and that's going to depict how you flow. It's going to depict your movement, the way you feel. It even depicts how you smell at times, or how you're looking at other individuals, which is going to cause a reaction, a flow, a back and forth. So it's important right now to don't let these changes or these slowdowns or these halts or these things that keep tripping you up, or it seems like nothing won't go right. Understand why first. It's probably because you're not flowing with things that are supposed to, you're trying to flow with a whole different energy. This is going that way, that's going that way. The relationship needs to be over, whatever that is, whether it could be anything. And I'm not talking about just relationships, and I am talking about relationships. Get what I'm saying? Because what it's doing is causing, we already said that, an exaggeration in the cycle, which will throw you karmically into a loop that's some deformed shit. Because once two separate energies are together, whether they are harmonious or not, they're going to create a whole unique situation. And if this unique situation is not something that you're supposed to be in, being unique ain't about shit. It's still ugly and torturous, like a hurricane. Yeah, we got the hurricane shit going on right now down in the south. So maybe that's where that water energy comes from, and these are feminine energies. And then we also got the feminine energy of 5. Changes, things that need to be rearranged and shit, because the mind is not connected to actuality and what's going on, not being able to make sense of it, because it's like being dumped in a pool of water and everything just floating around you, and your disorientation is off and don't even know what's up and down and right, wrong, what you need to get first. Everything is floating, or everything is, look at that, you get it. So it ain't like we don't know the solution. These cards didn't pull the solution out, but let's see if they will. Let's pull another one. Maybe a solution card will come out. We can get some more insight. Now, I don't sell these cards. You know what? I randomly bought these cards, didn't open them for like 2-3 years. And all of a sudden, since I've been doing this, I was like, I'm finna play with these cards. And it was a thing. I'm like, okay. I don't know why I held them for so long. I got them from Books A Million, I think. Yes. Plain Jane Books A Million, but you can use anything with colors and numbers. I got some other little, I don't know if it all depends on the connection to you and that item though, because this been with me for a minute during a certain period, but we ain't gonna go too deep on that. Let's see if this pulls out. Damn, I put the cards back. Let's see if this pulls out the solution for this energy though. Let's just remember it was 2, 8, and 5 came out. All the feminine energies. 2, 5, 8. Let's see if a solution card is gonna come out that is going to also be a feminine energy. Ooh. Damn, bro. We're going to pull till we get the solution. This right here is as above, so below. The as above, so below is not in sync with one another. Like I said, I'm going broad with it. Since I'm glad this came out, though. This is an androgynous energy. So we're not just talking about relationships and shit. We're also talking about just the energy itself. These are two things that are not able to find balance. It's not something it's like two magnets that are both like the same, opposing, which I don't know, because I ain't deep off into magnets and shit, but however magnets work when they oppose each other and they won't stick together, is that the same and same? Or yeah, it got to be the same and same. So it's like the same and same energy trying to come together, and it just by default won't. But anyway, let's see what the solution is at. That's what I'm trying to see. No. Okay, maybe that's the solution. No, it's not. That was another 6. But see, when something is inhibited or something is pushed in or, deflated, that's going to cause an inflation or a bubbling up somewhere else in another space. So this go to answer 6. So the 6 came out 3 times. 3, 6, 9. Androgynous energy, that's where the balance is found at. It's the as above, so below. At least have understanding of that, because 3, that's the first one, which is understanding your environment and having awareness thereof. That 6 would be the as above, so based on that understanding, it being able to flow and be, it did already created something, it already found balance. Now will be the completion. So yeah. And how do you find balance within these dynamics though? We already just talked about that. You eliminate what you know needs to be eliminated. You look at it for what the fuck it is, and then you move accordingly. Sometimes you can be in situations to where that's not even a possibility based on the necessity of it, but you still can change your perspective of the situation and watch things begin to morph into whatever they morph into. And however these things come about, we already know that at least we know the transition is needed and it has to come. So even if things begin to transform in an ugly way, first you have to go through that. Do not fret. Don't be afraid. Just peep game on what the hell going on and move accordingly from moment to moment. Just like in a storm. Let me not bring up a storm. I don't want to talk about this shit. But anyways, let's see. We're going to pull out one more deck. Whatever it may be. Even if it looks like justice is not being served. Maybe because you haven't found the justice within yourself first to even be able for it to be able to be served just in general. And that causing a chain of reaction or causing an effect, a ricochet effect of justice not being served in your actuality, because that's how it actually works. For the good and for the bad. So let's see what's up. Okay, we got the prayer. I've never had this card before. I didn't even know this card was in this deck. For real though. I've never seen it. The prayer. And you know I like to change the A in prayer to E. We are praying on what it is that we're supposed to have, or what it is that we say that we are and what we claim to be, because that's going to turn into actual life and what you actually would be praying for. But we're not praying, we're preying, declaring, affirming, and knowing based off of understanding. Well, maybe that's just for me, because sometimes you don't have to necessarily understand. You can have a watery understanding of things, so it's still based off of understanding. I don't like the way these cards are shuffling. Ooh, it came out. Okay. Let me block this little Blixton. Remove. The mother. Okay. The womb and the prayer. These are two like feminine energies, even though it has a 1 at the top. But we already know mother is a feminine energy, so I don't know. So let's see. One more. Okay, we're going to take that one. The father. Damn, that's beautiful. Okay. That's actually beautiful. The mother and the father. And we got the prayer. The prayer is what needs to be protected. Then the moon is waning. It's waning right now. It's time to protect those prayers. P-R-E-Y's. Let's see what let's see what it's talking about in the book. So first we pulled the prayer. We're gonna pull that one up first. This is for the ears that can see and for the eyes that can hear, and vice versa, inverted and backwards and forward. The prayer. It's number 65, 6 being balanced. These two energies are already coming out, and 5 being the feminine energy. 6 is the balance, and 5 is the chaos before you find the balance. So you have to go through the chaos first. Page 195. 1 being the individual, the final portion of the situation, and it falling into the number 7, which is a whole new perspective. That's the third number. That's the third number 1. So it's like a whole new beginning in a whole different brand new world based on what it is that you prayed on, and how you organized that chaos and found balance to it, and it then turning into whatever it turned into based on how we produce what we produced energetically and whatever. It could be an actual baby. So let me see, what page is it? 195. What is prayer? Let me see what they version of what they say prayer is. Don't piss me off. When are we in a state of prayer, and when are we not? To whom or what do we pray? Don't piss me off. Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent, self-centered thinking that spins us toward illusion. Okay. Prayer leads us beyond our ego as we may move from our little story to the big one. Some say we are in a state of prayer anytime we are not the center of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. So how are you going to be how are you going to be thankful of something unless you acknowledge it? And only you can acknowledge it. So that's why I was looking like, what is he talking about when he's talking about? Because I understand they probably are looking at it like from just a 3D perspective, because this is a book. So let me not. Okay. Perhaps it is simply surrender or service, whatever prayer is for you. This card reminds us of its importance. Get quiet, low. Okay, I'm not read all of it. We know what prayer is. This is for you to protect what it is that you have been building upon, if anything. But by default, since you're in existence, you've been building on something because you're steady breathing, your hair steady growing, your days steady pass. So if you haven't started, start now. Begin to pray. Maybe you have to pray first, but I would prefer that you prey first, meaning that you just know that you are the only one that's going to be able to find the solution. It starts with you, the individual. Duh, I don't have to look up what the solution is. The solution is also the number one too. We said it was the number 6, but it's also number one because number one is you, the individual. And that leads me to the mother and the father. The mother came out first, huh? The mother is the number one. Okay, so that makes sense why it's the number one. You see how poetically that came out to make sense? So we know that the number one is also the father. It's like a synchronicity because where's the father made? It's made it within the mother. One, the individual. We all have these dynamics, the yin and the yang. That's the only way we were able to become one. It had to first be in the within the mother. Okay. Page number 63, that's balance and in the environment. 2, androgynous energies. Because the mother makes both sexes, both feminine and male. Hold on. 63. Which is androgynous. And that's where the mother came from the androgynous space. Which is our possibilities, God. Okay. We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warm womb of the mother, where she offered resources from her body for the building of our own. Yet her tale is not so simple, as the mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of its intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creations and begins to grip what she is meant to set free. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives, yet clings. She creates, yet resists. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the eternal challenge of love. Okay? So when it's in the light, which it came out like that, glowing and generative, creative, nurturing. When it's not in the light, it's in the reverse, it's dim, exhausting, controlling, limiting. Okay, so like I just said, I had already broke that down. What I just said. The father. Damn. Then the father is the 2. You see? Yin yang, within every yin there's a yang, and with every part of that yang there's even more yin in there. Like it's the never-ending continual evolutionary cycle that you go through regardless of whether you want to be coherent of it or not. You need to snap into it at some point, bitch, because if not, you're going to have to reap the results / rewards whenever you do come to grasp, whenever that nightmare does get so bad to where you finally wake up out that damn stupid ass dream. But anyways, let's not go too hard on y'all, because hey, some people, but hey, it ain't hard because you have to get to that point at some point. And then once you get to that, you can go through it. Once you go through it, it'll be a whole nother different experience. But anyway, the father, which would be that number 7 energy, but this is the first number 1 energy, or let's just read it. Alongside the mother, the father resides. In the central axis of the archetypal family, the father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, hold on 1 minute, and loyalty. Yet, ironically and simultaneously, the father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god because he didn't show up, so he's only human. But a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and one who leaves us to the wolves. That's the okay. The dad is the one that says, "You ready? All right, I'm gone, bitch." And now you in the woods by yourself. Okay. Here, get gone, the champion and the failure. The father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetypal itself, because at some point that child has to become an individual, and what by other way does the child know how to become an individual except for by the father's example? And the father having to be the example, it has to be the one to release and separate and set apart. However that takes place, whether this is an actual father or this could be a thought that has to separate from your mind and come into reality based on you pushing effort into something and creating it to be seen and expressed for everyone to experience and witness, which will again create that seventh dimension. But let's go back over here. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals, okay, he is both the guardian and one who leads the wolves. Okay, here yet, okay, wait. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world, because it has to separate at some point. You can't suck on mama's titty until you're 12. Because what if mama dies? Then what, you gonna die just by default? No, then you wouldn't have lived life then. Period. Like actually, literally, you won't be to live life, because who does that? But anyway, I think that's it for now. I just want to jump in during this Leo moon. Y'all check me out. Go to Jackie New website, JackieNewStore.com. Check me out on IG, whatever. YouTube, like and subscribe. And we'll be hopping back in here later, and we'll have some more things for you soon. Just hold tight. Peace out. Oh yeah, our Divine Feminine course is coming up at the end of this month, at the end of this season, shall I say. Within the cusp of Libra and Scorpio season, we'll be hosting me and some other females, feminine energies, divine feminine sisters, will be hosting a class, a Divine Feminine course. I'll be talking about signs and synchronicities and how to correlate and correspond these things to actual life so that you can break them apart yourself. You won't even need Tarot Land or Jackie New necessarily. You'll be able to see this within your own life and point them out to your friends and family. And maybe you can even begin to talk about them, or whatever. Or that can transform and transmute into whatever needs to transform and transmute for you as an individual, whatever. The point is, each one teach one. Have something to talk about and teach that has substance to it and can actually be used. And that's what that's about. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.